Wire real quick. The Wolf may want to elaborate on some of these. We don't have a ton of time, but I know he has a couple thoughts. I'll just throw him a couple softballs here. Jahan Dotson, who a lot of people really liked going into the season. In the first place, he's 22% owned. Well, he had 2 touchdowns. Carson Wentz, a lot more productive than we thought. Curtis Samuel also had a decent game. He's only 4% owned. He actually caught 8 balls on 11 targets for 55 and a touchdown. So both those stat lines, nothing to sneeze at. You like these guys?
I sure do. And honestly, if you're starting at quarterback, Carson Wentz, the second highest quarterback scorer of the week. He's only owned in about 10% of leagues right now. Starting Matt Ryan this week with Trevor Lawrence on the bench, we'll certainly be looking to add him. All of these guys are viable. In particular, Dotson, like some of the catches were just stud NFL receiver catches already. The stuff that you love to see at Penn State. Contested grab on his second touchdown. It was beautiful. The guy is going to be involved. I think he played every single snap.
Yeah.
And Samuel involved as a rusher too. Just seeing that unique role carry over. A couple handcuffs that you want to keep your eyes out for on the waiver wire. One is Jaylen Warren. Najee Harris was ruled out and he did not return. Warren ended up picking up the majority of those snaps, including overtime, made a few real nice pass blocks. Now, the stat line wasn't great. 3 carries, 7 yards, like just very uneventful. But the fact that he showed well in pass protection, was a near every down player. We know Tomlin prefers a workhorse if he can have it. So he's a definite handcuff. Jeff Wilson as well. We mentioned Eli Mitchell's injury. He saw 9 carries for 22 yards and had 2 catches for 8 yards. Again, not lighting the world on fire, but in 2 fill-in starts 2 years ago, the guy had 30-point days. I mean, the ceiling is there. He led the team in rushing and touchdowns just a couple of years ago. Someone I would definitely be adding, and maybe you consider Jordan Mason as well in a tandem with Jeff Wilson.
And of course, we mentioned Taysom Hill earlier. He's only 9% owned, the quarterback / tight end. I mean, obviously, if he does anything at either position, you get points for it. If he's in the game, he had 4 rushes, 81 yards, and he had a touchdown. Worth a thought. That's all. Also, as far as tight ends go, Logan Thomas, This is the stat line we had written down. He had 3 passes caught for 45 yards. He was split in time, but he was targeted 20% of the time he ran a route. So that's something in a position that's so hit or miss. You could probably do worse than Logan Thomas.
Yeah, he was a true alpha the last time out there too at the tight end position. So I expect coming off the surgery, they were ramping up his activity. I would move to Logan Thomas before Taysom Hill, but man, it's a good dice roll. Like he's going to be involved every single week. Yeah. Another running back for you is Rex Burkett. I hate to admit it, but again, 70% of the snaps compared to Dameon Pierce, 14 carries for a sickening 40 yards. Did also have 5 catches for 30 yards. Did not look good on any of the touches. It was a gross show. You got to hope they move more with Dameon Pierce moving forward, but that type of volume serves a purpose, and certainly during bye weeks, if this does not end up fixing itself, check out Rex Burkett if you're desperate at running back for some volume.
Dontrell Hilliard, only 6% owned. 3 catches, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns to go along with a couple carries for 8 yards. I mean, he would have been better than any player that I started at his position.
Yeah. So, I mean, he scored over 20 fantasy points. He's going to be, I guess we should have mentioned him with talking about Henry as a dud. He played almost exclusively Hilliard, all the third down snaps, and really looked good. I mean, again, 2 touchdowns in the red zone, like very heavily involved there. And we saw Henry start to elevate his receiving role last year, was on pace for about 35 catches, which would have been a career high. If that type of ceiling is removed, you know, you're still going to get monster days from Henry every now and again, but you are hoping he'd get some of that receiving work. Hilliard thrived. I don't see that changing. Definitely a guy, and he has the handcuff with benefits type of upside. Maybe my favorite, like, sneaky play. I've always liked the player. I saw him smash my Patriots. I know I'm going long on him, but I think he might end up being my preferred target on the waiver wire this week. Certainly over 2 guys I consider fool's gold. The last 2 names we'll toss out there. Devin Duvernay, 5 catches, 54 yards, and 2 TDs. He might be less of the fool's gold. He's also already 30% rostered. I was shocked to see that, like already highly owned out there. In my family league, my cousin streamed Devin Duvernay today. Like,
what?
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, like 2% started and 2% was against me, of course. So nice game for him. And Lamar has hyped this guy up time and time again. I still don't buy that you'll ever know when it's consistent. A guy I wish I took more in best ball, though, because I think he'll have some blowups. A guy that I think is 100% fool's gold is O.J. Howard. Yeah. He did have 2 touchdowns, though, 38 yards, and both were nice, deep seam routes. They did have a tight end need. I thought it was Brevin Jordan filling it, but Howard did play more often than all of us expected, and certainly as a potential touchdown threat. I guess if you're desperate, but I would go to Taysom Hill first. I'd go to Logan Thomas first. O.J. Howard, I think, was fool's gold.
Yeah, me too.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already,
Share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.